G'day guys, just last week, I'm sure you've already heard, if not I'll explain it really quickly. Just last week, some journalists, not myself obviously, but some journalists and other media outlets received what looks like a ransom letter, like a handwritten black piece of paper that said, you know, hi so-and-so, wake up. And that was it. No who's it from, nothing like that. And then on that same day, Blunty, who's a YouTuber who I'll link up as well, was near the Apple store where a bus pulls up which has wake up written on the side, and it's full of protesters, and these protesters start chanting wake up, beating on the Apple windows and so on, causing a huge stir, obviously a lot of attention. His videos racked up probably like 500,000 hits because it's just gone completely viral, and you know, straight away people started thinking, what the hell is going on? No one really knew. People started to think it might have been Samsung because they were promoting perhaps their new Galaxy phone. No one had a clue what was going on. And then just yesterday, Samsung came out and said it's not them. They said it wasn't us. We are not responsible for it at all. There's also a website now which is counting down to a particular date, and there was nothing really highlighting for Samsung to be revealing that day, so they said it couldn't be us. Anyway. And then this morning, it's revealed that Research in Motion, BlackBerry, is actually behind the Wake Up campaign. It's their idea, and they've invited you know, these people who received these letters to attend a briefing where more information will be given, and they'll be able to experience more of what they're actually talking about. Now, for me, this is a huge shock. BlackBerry telling, how I view it, BlackBerry telling Apple to wake up. Now, I don't know if I live in a different world, but BlackBerry telling Apple to wake up is like me telling Gordon Ramsay that I can cook better than him, and I can't cook. Now, I'm not an Apple fanboy. I'm not hating on BlackBerry. I have a BlackBerry. This is my phone. This is what I rely on every day. I'm a huge BlackBerry fan, which is why I think I'm sort of most affected by this, is that why on earth are BlackBerry trying to pick this fight? BlackBerry are losing. They're losing really considerably, and picking or doing something this big against probably the biggest competitor that you've got in the market is a little bizarre. It's like, you know, David taunting Goliath just before he threw a rock at him. Just, you know, it just doesn't make sense. So what I wanted to do, I waited almost 12 hours now since I read this news, just because I was almost ready to explode, and the video would have been a whole lot more graphic, and I don't want that. So I just wanted to do this real quick. I want to run through some specs, just in case BlackBerry's forgotten. There's around 600,000 iPads sold every week in the world. Since the Playbook, which BlackBerry's competitor to the iPad, was released, they've sold about 1 million of them. So just think about that in comparison. There are more iPhones sold than there are children born every day, which equates to around 402,000. Last I read was about 400,000 iPhones a day are sold. In BlackBerry's case, it's 132,000 per day. So just a little bit of a loss there. In terms of innovation, Apple are leading the way in innovation. BlackBerry really haven't done anything in a while. I'm surprised they haven't gone the way of the Kodak and the way of the Borders bookstores and Blockbuster Video. You know, BlackBerry's really rested on their laurels, and I don't think that they've done a whole lot in a while, and that's why they're losing. When we start looking at from a business perspective, we start looking at share prices. So BlackBerry shares have been dipping consistently for the last 3 years. Their current share price is $14 per share. I can afford that. In contrast, Apple, on the other hand, have been on a constant increase for the last 3 years. And you can almost buy a share for the price of an iPad, which is around $585 per share, which I can't afford. In terms of apps, when I look at the device, I can get around access to about 60,000 apps in App World. There's about 500,000 plus that's an old stat, apps in the Apple App Store. In terms of accessories, other manufacturers have decided to side with Apple, and there's 1,000 accessories for iPod, iPad, iPhone, whereas I haven't seen any other manufacturers really work on much for the BlackBerry except for gel cases and leather pouches. So when you look at where the world sits and how things are going right now, the last people that need to wake up are Apple. If anything, BlackBerry needs to wake up. I'm surprised, I'm shocked that BlackBerry think that someone else besides themselves needs to wake up. The internal drama within RIM, you know, the CEOs have been trading places, there's been a whole lot of movement in management, even in Australia, and BlackBerry think that somebody else besides themselves needs to wake up. If I were BlackBerry, I'd be running a little bit low right now. I know they've got some new devices coming. God help them. Those devices need to be damn good after this campaign. They need to really be out there with something so amazing, with something else that hasn't been done as well. Because when you come out this big with protests and banging on Apple's windows, I really hope you've got something in your pocket, because you don't turn up to a gunfight with a twig or something. There's a saying like that. I'm just shocked. I'm surprised. I don't know if this was really well thought out. But yeah, make sure you check out Blunty's video. Huge credit to him. I wouldn't have really known about it unless it was for his coverage. I know that he's made a video today where he came out and said that BlackBerry gave him the tip off that something big was going to happen. Yeah, I just think it's a huge thing, and I really hope that BlackBerry have got something to deliver on top of this now, because it would be very embarrassing if they tell everyone to wake up and then just after we see what they've got to show us, we fall asleep again. Thanks for watching, and we'll speak soon.